Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and Dr. Cancel. Have you ever been stuck when it's time to do a research paper and you just don't know how or where to begin? Well, I'm here to explain easy steps on how to do a scientific research using the scientific method of research. I've also been at a crossroad where I didn't know where to begin to start a research paper. Tonight I will explain how to start. I will give information on how to get information on the research and how to conclude by putting all your information together. Throughout my presentation, I will be using reference from Power and Society, The Introduction to Social Science 11th edition by Bridget C. Harrison and Thomas R. Dye, 2009. Wilson E. Bright, The Introduction of Scientific Research, McGraw-Hill, 1952. Barbara John, Theories of Everything, Oxford University, 1991. In beginning a research, you'll start by brainstorming. Brainstorming is just taking your ideas and placing them on paper. At this point, you will place down your topics that you would like to give your research on. Say you write down 5 topics. And out of the 5 topics, you only have 3 that you have a whole lot of information for. Well, out of those 3, you only decide that it's only 2 that your audience will be interested in. Out of those 2, you really only have 1 that has a whole lot of facts. So that would be your topic to start your research on. And by taking all of your topics and narrowing it down to 1, you also went through another step by narrowing down your aspects of your chosen topics of research. You will then identify your aspects after your brainstorming, and you will now start your investigation. The investigation is just getting information on that topic that you have already wrote down on your paper. You will then find a theory or formulate a theory of that topic. For example, if I was doing my research on global warming, I would state my theory as scientists say that pollution causes global warming. So that's just stating a theory that you already know, or you could formulate your own theory. You would then state your focus of your research, your hypothesis, which is just an educated guess as pollution caused global warming, or you would state a problem statement, pollution caused global warming, or you would ask yourself a question, does pollution cause global warming? After stating all your research and your focus and getting all your information, you would then find your variables. Since in my example I use global warming and pollution, my variables would be pollution and global warming. Because of A, you have B. So because of pollution, which is my variable A, you will have global warming, which is my variable B. After getting all of that situated and having your variables, you would then take your information from out of your research that you have already concluded in the beginning, and you would add it in to make sure all your information supports your topic. So after you find out that all your information has supported your topic, you would then define and identify your variables, just adding in more information, getting to make sure that everything supports all your information and your data that you collected supports your information. You would then ensure your collected data is manageable properly, only meaning that your information supports everything that you have said this far. You will try to conclude your research by making sure that all your information is related to the issue at hand, that your research issue, your theory, and your research focus, which my focus points was on global warming, so I will make sure that all my information concluded that my pollution causes global warming. I will make sure that everything ties in. You would then ask yourself, does all your information support your research? Does your data have analyzed, agree with what was expected before the research. For example, I would ask myself, did all my information that I collected support my hypothesis, which was said to be pollution causes global warming? You tie all your information in, you get it together, then you conclude your research, and you follow your steps 1 through 13. And at 13, you conclude all your collected data. You make sure you answer your question and make sure your research formulates everything that you discussed in your beginning topics. When doing a research paper, you need to follow steps. And with following these steps, it will make your research easier and to make sure that all your information is right there in front of you when conducting your research. So when doing my presentation, I touched on key points such as brainstorming, which is putting down your ideas on paper. Investigation, which is gathering the information from your brainstorming and making sure all the information that you had in your investigation was correct. And then you conclude your information. You put all your information together that you got from your brainstorming and you got from your information that you researched, maybe off the computer, articles, books, and you put it all together and you state your information. And with doing so, you will find yourself in having a great presentation. Are there any questions? Yes, ma'am.
What data were you referring to? What was expected?
I used the global warming. So I was expected that pollution caused global warming. So my data would have been all the information that I have had from pollution. Did it refers to global warming? And at the end, you would conclude it all and make sure that your question or your hypothesis that you asked at the beginning formulates to the end. That concludes. I thank everybody for their patience and their time. Y'all have a nice night.